There's something about owls, the way their eyes seem to pierce right through you, the way they watch, unblinking, unmoving. And for some people, seeing an owl isn't just a brush with nature. It's a warning, a sign that something is coming, something not of this world. It was 1987, deep in the forest of Maine, when Robert, a 32-year-old outdoorsman, woke in the middle of the night to an unsettling silence. The usual sounds of the woods, the crickets, wind, the distant owls, were gone, and in their place was an eerie, still silence. Then he saw it. Perched on the wooden fence outside his cabin was an owl, but not just any owl. This one was massive, its eyes reflecting the dim moonlight in a way that seemed unnatural. It didn't move, it just watched him. Robert tried to shake this feeling of unease, but the longer he stared, the more his head buzzed with static, a growing pressure behind his eyes, and then darkness. The next thing he knew, it was morning. He was outside, laying in the dirt, with his clothes soaked in dew. He had no memory of leaving his bed or going outside, but something else was wrong. A sharp pain throbbed in the base of his skull where he couldn't reach, and when he touched the area, he felt a small, perfectly circular wound there, like something had been inserted into his head and then removed. His first thought was a nail or a drill. He stumbled his way back into the cabin with his heart pounding. He barely noticed as he walked by the owl still perched on the fence, but then he saw it. The owl turned its head completely backwards and then took off without making a single noise. So what's going on here exactly? We're going to look at some of these connections here and what science thinks might be happening to these people, because these seemingly abducted individuals definitely don't think this was natural at all. And they definitely do not think these were animals that they were seeing. Yeah, this is going to be a scary one, guys. I've wanted to cover this one for a little while. I actually recorded this one pretty much when I started this channel, and I had my old microphone set up, and the audio for that particular video was horrible. I actually don't like the audio for a couple of my earlier videos. I think I've come a long way. Audio is big for me, and I think I've come a long way with the improvements. Hopefully you guys feel the same, but I ended up scrapping that video, and we came back to it with a better script and more research. So let me know down in the comments what you think of this, but we're gonna keep going and look at what science thinks is happening to these people, and were they really abducted? Some researchers believe that the owls people are seeing aren't owls at all, but screen memories, a way for the human mind to rationalize something it isn't meant to comprehend. The large, staring eyes of the owl might actually be something else entirely. And then there's the mythology. Throughout history, owls have been associated with death, the supernatural, and with hidden knowledge. Many Native American tribes viewed them as harbingers of something, sometimes even as messengers between worlds. Could it be that these ancient beliefs hold a little bit of truth to them? That these beings, whatever they are, have always been watching us? The connection between owls and alien encounters remains one of the most unsettling mysteries in the world of the unexplained. Are these birds just simply birds, or are they something much stranger? We're going to look at some of the different interpretations of owls, and then we're going to look at some of their connections to aliens as well, just to kind of tie everything together here, both theory and what we do know. Owls as omens. In Greek mythology, owls are sacred to Athena, who is the goddess of wisdom and war. What they symbolized was knowledge and foresight. Owls have all sorts of different meanings in certain Native American beliefs as well. In some, they are associated with death, transformation, or messages from the spirit world. In others, they warn of danger and protection. So they kind of are all over the place, but overall, they were sort of revered. They weren't necessarily something that was just taken lightly. Seeing an owl meant something. They had a message when they were seen. So I like that theory a lot. Seeing an owl means something to you. It's not just that it's there, it's that you were meant to see it, and there's something that you need to interpret. I like that idea. In Celtic and certain European folklore, owls are considered harbingers of death or misfortune. Hearing an owl hoot was thought to foreshadow an impending death in the family. I can see how the two of these theories could collide and maybe mean we don't want to see owls at all, and if you do, it's a bad sign. Many people today view owls as symbols of just mystery and intuition, or even possibly the occult. I don't know if I've ever associated them with the occult, but for sure, mystery and intuition, I can 100% get down with that. They're always seen watching and kind of just analyzing. And that's in their nature, right? They're hunting. And I think that kind of gives them that very knowledgeable kind of aura to them. That could be just me rambling also. So now to tie what we do know about owls into what we don't know. Some UFO researchers and psychologists theorize that owls might serve as a screen memory. A screen memory is a mental image implanted intentionally or subconsciously to obscure a traumatic or an extraordinary event. In the context of UFOs, people seem to remember seeing an owl, but under hypnosis or later reflection, realize that they encountered something more bizarre, like aliens. The large reflective eyes of an owl closely resemble those of the stereotypical gray alien, which might explain the confusion. That is where I learned of the owl kind of affiliation with aliens. There is actually a movie from 2009 called The Fourth Kind, and it takes place in Alaska, where all of these different people were getting abducted at night, but they didn't know it until after this Dr. Abigail was putting them under hypnosis, and they were able to then tell her exactly what happened to them. They couldn't actually remember until after they went under hypnosis, but they remembered before seeing owls looking into their windows or coming into their bedrooms at night. But then once they were under hypnosis, they were able to describe their actual alien abductions, and it horrified them to now suddenly remember it. They broke that wall in their brain that was protecting them from their own memories, essentially. This doctor in the movie, she actually had an experience herself. After all of their research and everything, the doctor ends up going crazy and she moves away from Alaska, and apparently her peers, one of them unalived themselves. The concept of the movie is scary as hell. I actually really do recommend you go watch it. It's really cool. But it plays on this exact idea that these people think they're seeing owls, but they're actually seeing something completely terrifying. Their brain is just implanting this memory to protect them from what happened to them. Owls often appear at pivotal moments, such as right before or after abduction experiences. Witnesses frequently report seeing an owl staring at them through a window at night, a detail that later takes on eerie significance when they recall lost time or unusual lights in the sky. And they may not even really notice it until maybe they have a dream and they realize what they saw wasn't what they thought it was. I don't know. Definitely don't want to experience that for myself. Movies like The Fourth Kind and books such as Mike Cleland's The Messengers explore the uncanny connection between owls and alien phenomena, solidifying their association with modern folklore. Owls might simply be misidentified during strange encounters. The human brain, under stress or fear, can distort the reality of it. Owls often appear during twilight or nighttime, making them easy to confuse with something more otherworldly in the dim light. I know for me, I'm also afraid of the dark, so if I'm outside or if I'm looking out my dark window into the night, I'm going to be a lot more likely to associate big eyes looking at me with something terrifying, for sure. I don't want to see anything looking at me. Some believe owls act as watchers or intermediaries between dimensions, serving as both physical beings and spiritual messengers. In UFO lore, owls are sometimes thought to be associated with the extraterrestrial intelligence, either as a disguise or natural creatures drawn to the actual alien activity. That's a cool theory, that maybe because they're one of the creatures out at night, and a lot of these abductions tend to seem to take place at night, out of people's beds and stuff like that. Maybe just because they're out and about hunting and just trying to do their little owl thing, they see this stuff happening and fly over to investigate. I don't know. It's a cool theory though. Maybe they're seeing the lights or the activity going on, and maybe the craft that these aliens are using has some sort of energy that draws them in. I don't know, but that's a cool theory. I actually like that. Now, owls are actually tied to a couple of different cryptids, like the Mothman, for example. The Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, is sometimes described as looking like a massive owl. The cryptid is often tied to UFO sightings in the area as well. And if you don't know, that cryptid is also associated with bad luck or very doom and gloom, like its appearance means that something bad is going to happen. So although owls occupy a fascinating place in both folklore and ufology, blurring the line between natural and the supernatural, their recurring role in alien encounters is still unexplained, I would say, right? Could be coincidence, could be just that these people are having extremely vivid nightmares. They saw an actual owl. And now the line there is blurred. Maybe it's just now associated with their nightmare. I don't know. The brain is a terrifying thing, honestly, especially nightmares. I had a really vivid dream that I was in the Navy and I woke up and that whole day, sorry, my head was itchy. I woke up and I was like, that whole day I just felt like a memory. It didn't feel like a dream. It felt like I was there and then it happened and then I was actually doing training on a ship. I have no idea if it's even accurate. I don't have any military experience other than Call of Duty, but it felt real. So if I had a terrifying dream like this, like I was abducted, and then at some point in the middle of the night, I look out and I see an owl, that owl is now associated with that dream for sure. It's definitely strange, but let me know what you guys think of this story. Again, I wanted to cover this for a while and I'm glad I came back to it and could do better research on it and definitely have a better microphone because that makes a lot of difference for me. If you're new to the channel, you can become not new by subscribing. It really means a lot. It takes just literally 1 second and you're done, you're locked in. And it makes a huge difference for me growing this channel. And with that, guys, drink water, be safe, say thank you to Alexa, and I'll see you in the next one.